Hi, I'm Irene Pease, your friendly neighborhood astronomer, and we're looking at the night skies for August 29th through September 4th, 2021, using visuals with Stellarium. So, what have we in our skies? Let's get right to it. After sunset, yeah, that's happening earlier, and that's going to keep happening earlier at an increasing rate until the equinox next month, which is coming up. We do have some planets out at sunset. We have Venus. Venus, again, that's the really, really bright thing. That's not a plane. That has still 2 more months until its greatest eastern elongation on October 29th. So that's 2 months from now. Bet you can count, right? So that's something to look forward to. Venus just can keep getting higher and higher in the sky. Further and further away from the sun after sunset. The other thing that you'll want to start looking for later this week is Mercury. Mercury is actually going to go through 2 great elongations before Venus reaches its eastern elongation because Mercury is just a speedy little bugger like that. So if we look through this week, fast forward through today and a little bit later, it looks like it's setting earlier, but remember it's just setting early because that's how the sun is moving. The sun is setting earlier and earlier. So if we move to a slightly earlier time here, it should be getting further and further away from the sun. So its elongation is coming up on September 14th, so not next week, but the week after. And there'll be another elongation in the morning in October, so stay tuned for that. So later this week, start looking for Mercury, see if you can see that really faint dot. Don't use binoculars if the sun is still up. You never ever want to look at the sun with binoculars. It's just a really bad idea. It'll hurt your eye, really, really hurt your eye, as in you won't really have much of an eye afterwards. Other fun stuff, we see Venus is poking right past Spica. Yes, that bright star there is Spica. That's the brightest star in the constellation Virgo. So we're moving through that time of the year where Virgo is setting, and I kind of wanted to talk about the ice cream cone, but I'm just going to keep saving that. Maybe we'll have that for dessert Labor Day weekend. The other planets, of course, we have Jupiter and Saturn still up, and I talked a little bit about them last week, so I don't want to get into them too much this week. Also, the moon, if we look around, oh, there's no moon out. Okay, that's fine. The moon's out in the wee hours of the morning. If we come back to more like tonight and early tomorrow morning, I've been getting up at the butt crack of dawn. So I've been seeing the moon in the wee hours of the morning, and it's been plowing its way from west to east like it does. So it's basically the third quarter of its monthly phase. So it's going to be almost new for next Sunday. Not quite new, it's like another 2 days before it's actually new. So you're not going to see a whole lot of the moon at night. You can see it during the day, right? The moon can be seen during the day. Later this week, if we go during the day, oh look, there's the moon. Once again, just be sure not to look at the sun. That's always a bad idea unless you have proper shielding. The things I did want to talk about just a little bit, some constellations to keep an eye out for because they're cute. In our evening time at a reasonable hour, we'll call 9 o'clock a reasonable hour. Last time I think we looked a little bit at Scorpius, the scorpion. This time I want to look at Sagittarius, the teapot. Just kidding, Sagittarius is supposed to be a centaur, so a half man, half horse with bow and arrow. This little laurel thing that is not part of Sagittarius, that's Corona Australis, the southern crown. Oh look, there's labels here somewhere. So you know I'm not just making stuff up. So Sagittarius, right, that shape there doesn't really look a whole lot like what the picture shows. Because there's just a couple bright stars, and then there's like all these other fainter ones, especially from the northern sky where it's very close to the horizon, so it doesn't get very high in the sky. So we mostly see it as a teapot, right? So there's the teapot, so there's like the box of the teapot, and there's the little lid, and there's the little handle, and there's a little spout, and then the Milky Way is like, you know, the steam coming out of the teapot. So that's a fun constellation to look out for. And of course, if you scan that part of the sky with your binoculars, just like you were looking over here at those open clusters last time, we see there's more open clusters and nebulae. And I'm not even going to get into all that because it's a lot, and I just have a lot of work to do this weekend. So the other fun thing that's over there is a little teaspoon. So you have a teapot, you have a teaspoon that is still part of Sagittarius. So all that jazz over there is still Sagittarius. So there's kind of like this little crook with a little handle. So that's like the little teaspoon that I guess you would use to mix your tea from your teapot. The other fun thing that you can see naked eye, not that there's anything to see there, you can basically pick out this star, which is not that dark nebula, this star, which is more or less in the direction of the center of the galaxy. So with stellarium, we just brought up the galactic equator, so you can kind of see it passes along here. And right about in here, just a little north-ish along the galactic equator of this little star, is the dead center of the galaxy. So that's where there's a black hole, supermassive black hole. That's not it. And in fact, you can't see it because, well, it's a black hole. And also there's a bunch of gas and dust and stuff in the way, and so you can't really see it in the visible part of the spectrum that your eyes are sensitive to anyway. But if you wanted to look for it, that's the direction you would aim your telescope. Better to use, yeah, not visible light. That's just not going to happen. So fun things to look for in the sky. You found the scorpion last time. You can find the teapot and the teaspoon this time. Keeping an eye on the planets because they're always awesome. And we'll be back next week with more details of Venus elongation, etc., etc. I'm Irene Pease, your friendly neighborhood astronomer. Thanks for tuning in. Clear skies, everyone.